it can't be full, it can't be there in a fragmented universe because the universe is so fragmented. And he's there amid half semblances of diviner things, appearances or likenesses of diviner things. So we know that this is Ashwapati's, it is Canto 5, and it's the yoga of the spirit's freedom, spirit here, spirit's freedom and greatness. And now he becomes truly the seer. So please read it again.
Sure. These now could serve no more his regal turn. The immortal's pride refused the doom to live, a miser of the scanty bargain made between our littleness and boundless hopes and the compassionate infinitudes.
Yeah, you haven't been doing this for a while, and it shows.
Right.
These now could serve no more his regal turn. The immortal's pride, he capitalizes immortal. The immortal is the divine. The immortal's pride refused the doom to live, and then you drop the word live. But you have to carry it over to live a miser of the scanty bargain made between. See, it's all
Okay.
one, it's one sentence. Huh?
One sentence, okay.
There are 5 lines, and you have to
Uh-huh.
join all of those lines.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, try it again. These now.
These now could serve no more his regal
No,
turn.
these now could serve no more. They couldn't serve anymore. So
Okay.
we don't want to stop on serve because it's serve no more.
These now could serve no more his regal turn. The immortal's pride refused the doom to live, a miser of the scanty bargain made between our littleness and boundless hopes, and the bounded hopes and the
Yes.
compassionate infinitudes.
Okay, so
His height repelled the lowness of earth's state, a whiteness discontented with its frame, resiled from poor ascent to nature's term, the harsh contract spurned and the diminished leaves.
a little bit complicated here, but we can go through it nicely.
Uh-huh.
First of all, his height, because he's risen so high in his consciousness, he does not, he repels the lowness of Earth's state because he has a wideness that is discontented with its frame. You know, Sri Aurobindo often spoke about the breaking of his leg.
Okay.
He said because at that moment he was protecting Mother from a danger, and the Zurich force got in and broke his leg just like that.
Oh my God. Okay.
So we now have the world resiled, and Sri Aurobindo is going to give us a very, very beautiful answer. He says, it is a perfectly good English word, meaning originally to leap back, rebound like an elastic. So to draw back from, recoil, retreat. And then in military language, he says it means to fall back from a position gained or to one's original position. But
Mhm.
it is specially used for withdrawing from a contract agreement. So he is withdrawing from that poor ascent to nature's terms. Interesting, isn't it?
Mhm.
Because he doesn't like nature's terms. Nature's ignorant at this point. Yes, she is the divine creatrix, but she has descended into the ignorance of Earth's state, and therefore he has to spurn, in other words, disdainfully reject the harsh contract and the diminished lease. And
Okay.
what does he tell us now? This is very important. Only beginning.
Only beginnings are accomplished here. Our basis matter seems alone complete, an absolute machine without a soul.
So he's telling us of this first stage of existence: body, life, and mind. And the base of it all is matter, which is totally unconscious.
Uh-huh.
And yet it seems to us complete. I mean,
Mm.
we live every day, we do things, we go places, we have children, we cook, we all these things we do, and our base, matter, which is our base, seems to us complete,
Mhm.
alone complete. But what is it? It's an absolute machine without a soul. Now he's going to continue talking about this.
So, Narad sir, one question here. So, does it mean like there's no consciousness in matter?
There is, we could say, below the subliminal, the inconscient, and matter is not conscious of itself. But we can also say that there is an overarching consciousness in everything. And that's
Mm.
why he can write in Savitri, and in the worm foresees the coming God.
Right, right. Okay.
You see? So even in the worm, so in matter, matter is not at all conscious. Nature also goes about her work very unconsciously until she agreed to work with Mother. And you know that story? You see, nature was just doing all these things, and Mother said, "Why don't you join me? You can become more beautiful, more powerful." And nature said, "No, not really, because I enjoy what I'm doing, and if it takes me 1,000,000 years to change something, that's nothing for me." And then Mother convinced her that she would become so much more beautiful and powerful that nature agreed to work with her. And that's why when people see that I've written that supermental is even changing the flowers very rapidly, they're a little confused, but I see it. I know it's happening. Others will say, well, it's not here yet because I don't see it. Because we don't see something doesn't mean anything.
Mhm.
So it
Okay.
seems that matter is an absolute machine without a soul. It seems only right now. So let's continue on.
Sure. Or all seems a misfit of half ideas, or we saddle with the vice of earthly form, a hurried imperfect glimpse of heavenly things,
One more line.
guesses and travesties of celestial types.
So everything does seem here a misfit of half ideas. There's truth and there's falsehood. There's love and there's hate. There's joy and there's sorrow. Everything seems a misfit of half ideas. Or we saddle. Now, saddle here, we know what a saddle is on a horse,
Of course,
but
yeah.
it has a different meaning here. We burden down. We burden down. We load or burden down. We encumber. We charge. See, so we saddle with the vice of earthly form. Well, at the moment, the earthly form is, in a way, a vice, because the moment we're born, we begin to die.
Mm.
So that is a vice of earthly form. And therefore, it's a hurried, imperfect glimpse of heavenly things, guesses and travesties. Travesties are grotesque imitations of celestial types. Oh, so powerful. And now he's going to continue with that. Lot to tell us.
Okay. Here chaos sorts itself into a world, a brief formation drifting in the void, a things of knowledge, unfinished arcs of power, flamings of beauty into earthly shapes, love's broken reflexes of unity, swim fragment mirrorings of a floating sun.
Yeah, this is complicated. The word is apings.
Apings.
Not,
Okay.
yeah, like an ape.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first thing he tells us is that here on this earth, chaos sorts itself into a world. Somehow we manage to continue without destroying ourselves.
Okay.
We're sorting chaos into a world. But it's only a brief formation that is drifting in the void. Apings, imitations, mimickings,
Okay.
mimickings of knowledge,
Okay.
unfinished arcs of power. We do have, there is power, but they're unfinished arcs. They're not complete yet. Flamings of beauty into earthly shapes. Well, music,
Okay.
architecture, uh, all of these things, poetry, all of these things are flamings of beauty into
Okay.
earthly shapes. Beautiful people, also, beautiful thoughts, beautiful ideas, concepts.
Uh-huh.
Love's broken reflexes is the pronunciation. Love's
Reflexes.
broken reflexes of unity.
Okay.
And what are these reflexes doing? They're swimming because they're just fragment mirrorings of a floating sun. So when we look into a mirror, we think we are seeing ourselves, but we're
Uh-huh.
not. The mirror is only an image.
Right.
You got it now. You got
Yeah.
it now. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, we see our shadow and we think it's our shadow. It's not, it's just a play of light against the body. So, fragment mirrorings of a floating sun. Now he's going to tell us even more. There's so many things he's pouring into this passage.
Yeah.
A
A,
pact?
a packed assemblage of crude, tentative lives are pieced into a tessellated whole.
Yes, these crude tentative lives, our lives.
Uh-huh.
We see, hundreds of thousands of people now dying around the world in wars. So it's a packed assemblage. Assemblage is a number of people gathered together. It's a
Mm-hmm.
gathering, a gathering. Yeah, and it's they are crude, tentative. Tentative means passing with time.
Mm-hmm.
Are pieced into a tessellated whole. Now, tessellated means um, like a mosaic.
A
We
pattern.
could a pattern, yes,
Mm-hmm.
checkered pattern
Checkered
often,
pattern.
but they used to do these tessellated ceilings that were
Mm.
very beautiful in the old days. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have to continue.
Okay. There is no perfect answer to our hopes. There are blind, voiceless doors that have no key. Thought climbs in vain and brings a borrowed light, cheated by counterfeits sold to us in life's mart. Our hearts clutch at a forfeited heavenly bliss.
Ah, much better reading. You're getting already into it again. Very good. Forfeit. Forfeit is a breach of contract. To lose something. To lose something.
Mm,
Um, Now, he's going to tell us that there is no perfect answer to our hopes as yet. Now, we have to understand that this is only Book 1, Canto 5. We're
mhm,
going to find a lot of answers as we go along. But right now, as the Earth is today, in fact, Sri Aurobindo is seeing hundreds of years in the future. There is no perfect answer to our hopes. So, what are there? Well, there are blind, voiceless doors that have no key. If you can't get into something because you don't have the key, you don't know what's there. They're blind, voiceless doors. Even thought climbs in vain and brings a borrowed light because thought does not have the light.
mm,
Thought is conditional, thought is duality.
mhm,
All these things we just went through, love and hate and light and
mhm,
dark. So
mhm,
thought is climbing, but it's climbing in vain. It is climbing, but climbing in vain. And
mm,
then it brings into the world a borrowed light,
right.
not a true light. Now he has a comma there, and he says, cheated by counterfeits sold to us in life's mart. Well, we're always cheated by counterfeits. How many times have we bought something that was not not at all what the seller said? And we know that these things in life's mart is a market, huh?
Market. Mhm,
Yeah. And therefore, our hearts clutch at a forfeited heavenly bliss. So it's lost right now,
mhm.
or almost lost, this heavenly bliss. Now he's going to continue, and more, we have to go a little bit more.
Okay. There is
Pro-
provender of
Provender,
provender. Okay. There is provender for the mind's satiety,
satiety,
satiety, satiety,
satiety.
satiety. Okay. Satiety. Okay. Hmm. There is provender for the mind's satiety. There are thrills of the flesh, but not the soul's desire.
So we have two words here that are very important. Provender is food or provisions. So there's food. Food for what? The man's satiety. Now, satiety is an appetite or a desire that's gratified to the full or excess.
Okay.
See, so he's speaking here in the next sentence, amplifying that. There are thrills of the flesh, but not the soul's desire. So you see how they come together now. And
Mm-hmm.
this whole passage is so very important that we know what Ashwapati is seeing. And let's have you read the whole thing now because
Okay.
we start with exiled, is it? Uh,
Uh, as
no,
through a
as
mist,
through a mist. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
as
Please
through a
begin.
mist, a sovereign peak is seen. The greatness of the eternal spirit appeared, exile in a fragmented universe amid half semblances of diviner things. These now could serve no more his regal turn. The immortal's pride refused the doom to live, a miser of the scanty bargain made between our littleness and bounded hopes and the compassionate infinitudes. His height repealed the lowness of earth's
No,
state. His height repelled the lowness of earth's state, a wideness discontented with its frame, resiled from poor ascent to nature's term, the harsh contract spurned and the diminished lease. Only beginnings are accomplished here. Our basis matter seems alone complete, an absolute machine without a soul, or all seems a misfit of half ideas, or we saddle with the vice of earthly form, a hurried, imperfect glimpse of heavenly things, guesses and travesties of celestial types. Here chaos sorts itself into a world, a
a
brief
little slower. Here,
okay.
chaos sorts
Here
itself.
chaos okay. Here chaos sorts itself into a world, a brief formation drifting in the void, a
Good.
pins of knowledge, unfinished arcs of power, flamings of beauty into earthly shapes, love's broken reflexes of unity.
Reflexes.
Reflexes, okay. Love's broken reflexes of unity swim fragrant mirrorings of a floating sun, a packed assemblage of crude tentative lives are pieced into a tessellated whole. There is no perfect answer to our hopes. There are blind, voiceless doors that have no key. Thought climbs in vain and brings a borrowed light, cheated by counterfeits, sold to us in life's mart. Our hearts clutch at a forfeited heavenly bliss. There is provender for the mind's satiety,
Satiety. Satiety.
satiety. There are thrills of the flesh, but not the soul's desire.
Well, we had a good day today. We did
I'm
one
sorry,
full
Narad sir,
page
I
of
already lost it, but you're bringing me back.
no. I'm always positive. I, 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 I always know that we're going to succeed, and you're going to succeed very beautifully. So I thank you.
No, thank you, Narad sir. Thanks for reaching out. Yeah. I hope you
Namaste.
have a great week ahead. I'll keep practicing. Thank
Very
you again.
good. See
Yeah,
you next week then.
sure.
Bye.
Thank you.